Hello everyone. This first poem is called Glens. If cheap vodka could sing, it'd sound like you. And if pigs had wings and blood was blue and the moon was made of ice and only came out at night so that the sun couldn't melt it, then it'd probably just be me and you. If when you blinked, your lashes didn't sprinkle and threaten to fall like hundreds and thousands, and your lips didn't taste like the first sip of water on a hot summer's day in the 1920s at a white-only water fountain, leaving me staring into the eye of a pyramid, corrupt limbs, cold sweating to mad devil music with a mouthful of cinnamon, spitting dust that might land and force a line on your tongue, so me and you might be intimate, going round and round and round in circles like a period, and ending up back at you. If cheap vodka could sing, it'd sound like you. Thank you. This next one's called Trombones and Tubas. It's just noise, the sound of 11 o'clock and the night you could adore, and sorry but we're not allowed to sell booze anymore. It's just noise as 3 babies cry but there are only 2 tits so they can't all survive. It's just noise, so hold your hand steady, son, and show her how much of a man you are. She doesn't kiss or provide comfort but could tell you your future by looking into your third eye. 2 wet chicken breasts slapping against each other, that's what you sound like when you turn the music off. But it's just noise and it rhymes with nothing, and warm underneath blankets it dreams of nothing as blank cigarette packets and girls donning flesh-wrung ladders scatterers. Dogs bark louder than old school rappers preaching fuck the police. Silence creep into the gap between ear and earphone. A homeless jazz musician sees the devil outside a corner shop and tells him he's sober just for the night because it's just noise. Suicide notes and protest votes, sore throats singing to a Negro sky that has its own blues to worry about because it's just noise. All these men writing songs for you before you go home and listen to them alone. Shaky hands on the cold nights, spit dank saliva onto your wedding finger on the warm nights, and sing about how nobody loves you because nobody loves you. You spray his cologne in the air so it's like he was there, but it's just noise. Splattered concrete and heartbeats and 10 years blue and the news on mute, and you'll either laugh or you'll cry, and it's only 2 days till Friday, and that rock and roller it'll never die because it's just noise. Ice cream van man in the bleak midwinter selling for 40 quid a pop, and nobody bats an eyelid because it's just noise, and you can dance if you want to. Thank you. Big boys do not cry, my father said to me, nor do they suffer. Instead, when the teacup shatters and it's all tits up, unsafe to walk in flip-flops, a big boy tries. 2 fingers up to some invented enemy, a big boy says he's old dear diary, dancing fuckery with the pretty little thing who's just a bit too good for him, half lost and half demented, whispering obscenities into her ear, hoping she finds all of them offensive. A big boy has no why, he has no vows which can hold his cries. There is no plan for where he goes, there is no system that will show how the faces they will change from gorgeous to grey. There is no one to whom he prays as he is frozen in the dirt, noble savage of earth, to fingers in the pink, clear drink, ambiguous, so it will blind him as her kisses, they will reach a Negro heart that has no interest in the nuances of why the light seems so dark. A Negro sky will leave you drunken on your arse as you're singing of how the lights are blinding your eyes. I need to learn to keep my eyes open when I dance. People pushing by and walking off into the night. Thank you. This This last one's called Jessie and James. She wore high heels to a house rave because she knew the years came quicker than regret on a Sunday and wanted to see a bit more than the 5 foot 3 inches she was given. Hidden in her bra was 40 quid's worth because there won't be dogs on the door, and if they search you there, that's harassment, he says, and I'm not patriarchal, I just don't want another man's hands on my assets, he says. He wore shades of the darkest shade of half-caste, so she could only assume that he was looking in her eyes as she strained to look in his and sweet caressed his face, because she always did like the feel of his face and the harshness of his voice when he dropped his H's. Jessie and James, stuck in an antidepressive two-step, stinking like sex in a cubicle. He got vexed when her pupils blew up because he knew it meant she'd been dabbing on the side. Tell me who I am, he says, as he ponders the politics of splitting the ground. Jessie and James, who weren't going to sleep that night as she saw what she could only describe as the peak of a sunrise, and so could only assume that he was looking in her eyes as he told her he loved her, because at the time the only thing he could do was love her, and she said it back, and then they never spoke about it again. Thank you very much.